Okay, so hello everybody. This is our new channel on YouTube, and I'm super happy to be today here with Andriy from Crowdin. We have a new plan, which is we want to present the latest news and updates from our partners, from Beluga Partners, on this channel. And we want to show what actually happens behind the scenes. So why not going with the ones who create all this? Andriy, hello, welcome. From where are you
I
connecting
am
today?
glad to see you. Yes, thanks for inviting. I will be happy to demonstrate everything that we have implemented so far. There is always something on the table that is under development. This August was very, very productive, I believe. Despite of many vacations and everything, but still we managed to release some cool features linked with AI, and not only with AI. I hope that it will be helpful for developers, for managers, and translators.
This is optimal because we're talking about innovation. We are talking about how these systems evolve. And let me share my background because you have such a nice background here, which is what's new at Crowdin August 2024. We are today filming this in September. It's 10th of September. We are filming it. So even now there's new stuff happening. So this is not even the latest. But we will talk about this today. We will go through all these fancy stuff you have released in August. And there are some topics I'm really excited about. I've been able to try it out already. And today what I want to do is go through these features together with you, because I think reading this newsletter, if you see AI proofreading, AI QA check, blah, blah, blah. And then all this stuff.
Yeah, somehow we made it long this month, yes.
This is just a massive newsletter. I know you have a lot of cool stuff, and you have the videos. There's a couple of videos here where you can see, and where there are explainers and so on. But there's nothing better than a real life discussion together with one of the people who are really on top of it, who needs to explain these features to your customers. So, Andriy, why don't we jump into it and talk about AI proofreading agent as a first part, and then move on through the AI QA check Censor Guard, which is very interesting. I'm looking forward to discuss a little bit more in deep where we can use this, what is the applications, and the fine-tuning. I think this is something many people out there who are working with enterprise version of Crowdin, or with Crowdin as a whole, are very much interested in how is it going, how can we use it, and then we will go over to the some custom stuff, the custom file format quick overview we have on the map, so Crowdin Apps, and default editor stuff. So without further ado, let me switch off my screen. Let's go to your screen, and
Sharing it now.
What was it for you, the starting of the season? So September kicked off heavy with all these updates.
It was. I'm even until now, I'm still learning about some features, because we keep collecting feedback from our users, and it's never like that you release something and it's everyone is happy and well, I hope that everyone is happy, but still people have some extra feedback to share. They have some ideas. They probably got some bugs, unfortunately. So we collect all of that. We dynamically solve everything, even for AI proofreading. I think since release date, we already did like 5 improvements, if not more.
Wow,
And
that
it's
is
been just 2 days.
innovation. That is fast-paced innovation and agile. I guess you were working with agile as well. So a lot
Yeah,
of feedback.
Crowdin is yeah, it's we even call that we develop our platform is designed for agile localization, so we are ready for these fast updates and everything. But yeah, of course, to make it happen, we also need to have agile development within the team. So yes,
Absolutely.
it's we always we are always connected with developers. They are happy to make any improvements. And today, yes, I prepared. Initially, I thought to have everything configured and demonstrated, but I think that for everyone it might be more interesting to see how it exactly I'll try to do that very fast, but I still wanted to show you all these steps, how
Absolutely.
exactly.
Yeah. Where are we here right now? We are in the enterprise account.
Yes, I created a new account, so we will have fresh data only. I entered Crowdin Marketplace. That's the place where you can find all these apps. So there are lots of them, and it
600
just depends.
plus as far as you communicate in your newsletters.
Yes, yeah, and it grows because we always get some ideas, and not all of these apps are connectors. We also have some apps like even this custom file format that we are going to discuss today.
Absolutely.
It's also yeah, we have some apps for productivity, for handling of custom formats, and so on.
This is something we will discuss in another episode. We will dive into the store and we will definitely talk through a lot of
About some
applications hopefully.
rare apps, yeah, because I'm sure that not everyone have seen the full list, because if you
Absolutely.
want to translate Google, something from Google Drive or anything else, you just find this app, install it, and use it. But yeah, you won't usually you won't go through the list to search for anything else. But there are indeed different
For those of
interesting
you
apps
who
here.
want to see this happen, please subscribe to this channel and we will come
Leave
back to you.
comments as well, yeah.
This is how we promote the channel and yeah, we will dive into all this stuff. Today we go through the latest newsletter. So 2024 August updates, AI proofreaders, the biggest, one of the most spectacular things you have launched. And let's see how it works. Andriy.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, so let's start. As I already found AI Proofread, so it's the first here in the list. First of all, to make it work, we need to install the app. So we click install. Let's use it in all projects. It's important that AI Proofreader, it will be like a member of your project. So you will see like other people, your translators, managers, proofreaders.
Right.
So this user will be also created. I never tested it, but probably you can even send it some messages within Crowdin, but I think it won't reply anything.
This will
But
be our conversation. We're getting close to robot human interrelation relations, right? So
yeah,
we will see this coming up now in action when we added the application. And then we see how our AI assistant will appear.
and who knows, probably indeed in some future you will just send a message, you open conversations in crowd and send a message to AI that you need to translate something, review something, and it will start creating some
We will
tasks.
cover it definitely.
um, After we install AI Proofreader app, automatically what happens here is that we will see that let's reload. Custom QA check. So when we go to AI Proofreader,
This
yes,
is live
sorry,
demo.
that's something that I missed. And yes, we initially we noticed that users were not guided enough where they need to go if something doesn't work. So we predicted lots of different cases. So if you miss to configure anything, we will always display you some messages. So we will head you to correct section where you can finalize configuration. And here what we can see that now a prompt was automatically created. So you don't need to guess how to configure it. You just need to open it and you need to let it know what provider and model you can use. Regarding providers, they are all configured here in this section. These are all currently supported providers. I'm sure that this list will grow because it's just the beginning of this AI translation era.
It is.
I'm sure, yeah, it will be like huge list. And yes, we select provider that we wish. We can either insert our own API key from OpenAI or a different provider, or we can also activate it within Crowdin. So if you don't want
a cool option, because you basically enable people who are not having an OpenAI account just to get started to work with Crowdin directly, and you bill whatever is the usage to the user through their Crowdin account, right?
Yes. And for anyone, yes, from our team, I can say that anyone who is interested, please just contact us, support teams, mention that you saw this video. We will be happy to grant you some $5 credit to your account balance so you can test it.
And it's surprisingly much
beforehand.
because it's so inexpensive. The usage
nowadays
is very low. It was surprising for me to see, how little it costs to work and deal with the AI integration. So great option. You have these two options. You offer your own keys, which is something I've heard from Sergey, that this is something special from Crowdin, as far as I know, that you can bring your own codes, which is cool. And you can also contract with Crowdin, which is cool. Yeah, cool. So we have set up our provider. We work with OpenAI for this one. It's a cool one. Let's go to the prompt again and see the prompt, how it works.
So AI prompt was automatically created in it. And when we open it, we first of all, easiest step, we just put this check mark. We confirm that we are going to enable it, and then you select a model provider that you are going to use. Let's use GPT-4o Mini.
Which is a preferred model, right?
Yeah, now, at least as of now, it's very fast, it's cheap, everyone is happy with the quality. It's really, yeah, very nice model for translation. And you can even do fine-tuning using it as well. So we will also touch base a bit on this topic about fine-tuning. And we are good to go. So we select, we click update.
Okay,
and now
here we go. It changed the icon, right?
Yeah, it depending on provider that you select. In my case, I selected OpenAI, so we received the following.
Okay. So the item will change according to the provider you use. Nice.
Exactly.
Nice.
So it might be useful because you may create multiple prompts for AI Proofreader, because probably in one project you may want to use some informal tone, but in another project you want to use formal tone. So you can have as many prompts as you wish. And then depending on the project, you will assign different prompts. This is why when we go, for example, to this section, here, we can control if you have not that many projects. I think from this place, I find it most efficient. So what you do, you just enable it. We can also click on it because here we have some important settings that may be helpful. So we need to, if you won't change any settings, how it will work by default, it will work in tasks mode only. So it means that you will need to create a task for AI Proofreader. Only then it will start working in the project. Otherwise, it won't do any proofreading. It can also react to any new translations that you submit. So when you upload any translations or you apply translation, let's say from different empty engine, AI will be notified about it and it will review all translations on the fly when this mode is enabled. So it just depends on your preferences. Here,
and the workflow, right? The workflow you design.
Yeah, just today I had a discussion with one team, so we made a conclusion that this mode might be not that efficient and helpful in some very active and large projects, because not always you want to review all files and all translations by AI. You want to assign only specific files to AI, probably.
I see. Okay,
So
that's good to know. Yeah.
When yes, so you can always change settings and make it work as you wish. We can see that default prompt that was created is already applied. It will review all target languages out of the box. We can also, if AI makes a decision that current translation that you have uploaded, created is correct, it can automatically approve it. Or you can disable auto approval if you wish. I remember that at the day of release, approve was active and it was like muted. You could not disable it. But now, yes, we see that for some cases, probably you don't want AI to approve anything for you, but you still want AI at least to add comments.
Exactly.
Leave comments where potentially translation is not correct. So your human proofreaders will.
This is a very good point, because in this section, actually, there's a lot of difference in the behavior of the system I've seen. So adding comments is super useful, but you still have to work on it. The other options will definitely change the input field for the translation, and that might not be the right thing for an ongoing project. We will see it now in action, I guess, I suspect.
Yes,
so
that's why we are configuring it.
Exactly. But for now, yeah, I tried it out, and add comments is from my sense was the safest version to use.
Perfect. Yeah, so we can, let's activate, I will use approval. And I think if we put all checkboxes on, then it means that we basically fully delegate proofreading to AI. So if you wish, you can even make it like this, and then you won't need to do any human proofreading.
Let's see how that works out.
It's only if you fully trust AI. But yeah, now it's definitely, yeah, it's stable. But personally, yeah, I would in some life, especially if you're translating some UI strings, well, I think it's not best approach, but it may work, definitely. Also, it doesn't mean that you cannot review translations later yourself. So yeah, at any point you can hire some human proofreaders agency, and you can do another round of review. Let's save changes.
Who would, let me ask you one quick question.
Yeah, sure.
In the middle. Who do you think would most benefit from this workflow? So who do you recommend this workflow to integrate?
You mean workflow when everything is fully automated?
I mean, what would be a typical situation where would you recommend to use or install this kind of feature?
AI Proofreader, it may be very useful in case you want just to simplify your human proofreader's work. So you want, before you proceed with translations, you want AI to again verify, because probably you are using some empty engine, for example, DeepL, anything else. You are translating everything using this engine. But at the same time in Crowdin, you have a translation memory, you have a glossary, some other metadata, probably description for strings. That's something that I think all empty engines cannot easily fetch from Crowdin, but it's something that AI can easily process in the system. So because AI, it sees your context, it sees your TM, it sees your glossary. So
Right.
you can just, even in this mode, you can just leave add comments on and check everything else, and then AI will tell you where potentially translation is mismatched because it's not matching context, TM, and everything. It may be also handy for some, let's say, yeah, a very common use case that I have seen already is translation of knowledge base. So here, of course, yes, everyone strives to have ideal translations everywhere, but in when you translate knowledge base, you usually don't use some very complex phrases. They are quite simple, and I think
Right.
here it's totally fine to delegate these. Even you can safely even use approved translation on, and then AI will approve everything for you. Then your human proofreaders or even managers, they can just apply some extra QA checks, for example, and fix few phrases only.
So when what I hear here is it's a good, what I tried myself was a DeepL translation of a text and then run the proofreading on top. And there were a couple of findings which I really liked. So it was definitely, you see still problems with machine translation. It's fast, it's quick, it's usually high quality, but still the AI can make the bridge between natural sounding and context aware translations. So this is coming up here. And then you would probably see a translator or a proofreader working on top of that and review the comments and say, okay, adapt this or adapt that. And definitely, you know, this is a high score for a good translation. So we can improve it straight away.
Yeah,
So it's an indicator, right? It's sort of an indicator.
exactly. And here I think that we have configured everything, so we are just ready, because I enabled tasks mode only. That's also something. Well, I was very impressed when I saw this for the first time. So how it works? Let's say you are ready to review translations now. So you uploaded something, you applied some MT probably, but in any case, you are ready to start proofreading. So what you do, you go to tasks in your project, you specify proofread by own translators. Then I have in my workflow, it's also something that we can touch base at some point, because with workflows, even
Oh,
today, I
workflows are
built.
such a world in itself.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even today I had the case when we built together with the client like a workflow that consists of 10 steps. And yeah, it just depends. Yeah, there are many. It's big field for uh, evaluation, and yes, usually together we build some great approaches with clients. So what we do, we select proofreading task, we select a file that needs to be reviewed, and then as assignee, we select exactly AI Proofreader.
And here we go. Here is
Yes,
Mr. AI. The
yeah, so
robot is coming to our user base.
yeah, it will be listed in that. It's yeah, I found it very unusual for the first time when I saw it that indeed AI Proofreader is indeed displayed as just a user. So it like other users in
Detailed
the
contact. Yeah, you can chat with him.
yes, but I tried, it never
It
replies.
doesn't
But
respond yet.
but it might be something for the future, yes, that we can also
Excellent.
improve. But you can still, if you want to chat with AI, you can still do this in the editor in Crowd, and so that
Absolutely.
will be possible if you need to discuss anything. What happens now? So after AI gets a task from you, then I hope that we will catch this moment. Not yet.
It takes a
So
little bit a while, right?
yeah,
It
it
is.
analyzes content first. Yes, it collects all strings. Oh, here we
Here we
go.
go.
So automatically the task status is changed because you can move. You can like in any Kanban board, you can drag task to different statuses yourself. But here with AI, what it does when it starts working on translation, it will move it across stages automatically. Um, let's
And now we
see.
refresh again, and it should be
Almost,
completed, right?
almost. Well, I expected it will be a bit faster, but I have a bit larger file, sample file, so I
Okay, of course. It
hope that.
takes more time if the file is larger.
And let's see our file. Oh, and what did
Did you translate it with machine before?
um if I'm not mistaken, I had.
Or did you had already a German translation? It doesn't look like.
I think yeah, sorry. Yeah, looks like I missed something. Let's see configuration quick. I will probably, I'm
Or
not
delete
sure, but
translation.
I probably it's linked with delete translation, but there is a chance that it may still be in progress. So anyway, yes.
Yesterday, I did a very simple test where I just, I translated it with the machine translation from Crowdin, and then I ran the system, and it worked pretty well. So you're moving it back.
I will try it again. Yes, this is how
Okay.
you can forcibly restart the task.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, sorry, yes, it's this demo effect that everyone encounters.
That is what we have when we do these kind of recordings. It's cool because
Exactly.
it will happen to your users as well.
Yeah, yeah, it
And
can happen
yeah,
with
and here
anyone.
we are.
Yes, second attempt was great. So we can see that AI has approved
Mhm.
translations. So it considered basically all translations as approved. So we can make just a final test with it. Probably I will to demonstrate
Yeah,
some real
let's
case.
enter some
Let's
mistakes,
yeah,
right?
yeah, we replace and same here. So
Uh-huh.
we in two words we intentionally make a mistake. I will cancel this approval for the string, remove all approvals, so it will be not approved anymore, and we will save this invalid translation. I will I let's save it. And final attempt. Yes, so what we will do, we will again, because currently the task will be marked as done. I believe,
Uh-huh.
yes,
We move it back.
we move it back to, so this is, yeah, instead of creating a new task, you can always, if you see some inconsistencies, anything, you can always delete something or cancel approvals, and then you can always start it again. You may, for
Then you
example,
start it again.
adjust your how it's called, AI prompt.
Uh-huh. And
You
here
can
we have
adjust.
the comment.
Yes, and we can see that it should add a better translation. Yes, we have a comment already. It's actually even currently our default QA check worked. So I guess that it's not even AI for now. It's just some default QA checks. But what do we get? Do we have a comment? Yes,
There it is. Yeah.
there we go. Yeah, so we can see that AI noticed misspellings. So it will either add it, it just depends how you configure it, but yes,
Translation.
depending what settings you have here, so it will either add a new translation or it will leave a comment. But in general, yes, that's probably everything about the AI proofreader.
You know, what I have seen here, Andriy, was if you have these kind of spelling mistakes and you select the AI proofreader, if you go back to the configuration settings and you have delete translation, add translation suggestion. Okay, what happens here is you have the full sentence, you know, spielt Gitarre or whatever was a sentence, right? And we had 2 spelling mistakes in 2 words. So
Yes.
what I experienced was the whole translation got deleted and the system inserted just the right translation for these 2 words. Right? So that was what happened in the auto system when I tried it. So that's where I found it more quick and more like controlled in a controlled environment to use add comments, because it tells me, okay, here are two mistakes. And then if you have the AI suggestion, you can take it and correct it accordingly, right? So
Exactly.
this is something I have seen. We might want to play. You might want to play around if you see this feature. You know, play around with these items and experience yourself. Write it down in the comments of this video. What's your impression? And yeah, and Andriy and I, we are happy to look into it and get your feedback.
Yep, answer any questions. And yeah, it's very new thing. We see huge potential here actually. So we just practice with I think the prompt is already good, but there is always some area for improvement, of course. So we will keep monitoring. We will keep testing it ourselves. We will keep collecting feedback from users and hope together we will make indeed ideal proofreader.
Optimum. Yeah, we will keep it on this channel. I think this is one of the features that is very interesting. We will see how it evolves, how it scales, how people will interact with this feature, and yeah, and what are the responses from the users. So fantastic news. I think something to watch out, definitely. Let's dive into the next topic, which we had is the AI, yeah, you called it Censor Guide. This sounds so cool. So explain briefly, what is the Censor Guard about? And why it's important? Why should everybody install this application from the store?
Definitely. Yes. So first of all, I find this application useful in public projects. So if you have probably not even public, but let's say you have lots of participants, you are translating a game or you are translating some popular app, and you work together with your translators, for example. With your users. So you have like sometimes 1,000 of people. There is always a chance that someone will decide, because person will sign in, they will see that, oh, everything is nicely translated. And sometimes someone wants to suggest something else, and this something else is not very good.
Okay, it is a forbidden word. It's hate speech.
Exactly.
We're talking about all this stuff that moderators should filter, right?
Exactly, and it's not indeed in very active projects, you cannot easily monitor all of that. So this is why um, this filter, this app might be useful. It's actually, it acts as an extra QA check that you can configure. So how it works, I will just quickly show you the idea that we first, after we installed that app, we will go to custom QA checks. Oh, that's another thing that can be discussed in some future meetings, because yes, we also allow you, we have built-in custom, no, they are not custom. We have just QA checks built in the system, and we also allow you to install some extra tools that will allow you to also catch some errors, spelling. There are many cases, yes, that they can.
Absolutely. So this one we need to make a video on that. Top 10 tips on how to modify your custom QA checks.
Yeah,
Very cool.
very good idea. Thanks. Yeah, so how it works, when we install the app, very similar to AI Proofreader, it creates a new custom prompt. It will be custom QA check. And here, same as we did for AI Proofreader, we enable it and we select the model that will be used for this Censor Guard application. We can see that it also has some customized prompt. You are free to optimize it, to customize it, add something extra, but we already tried to predict some very common things that need to be caught, detected, and yes, so we will.
We looked at that on another day, at another day, where you can modify this, but the important thing is that you add at the bottom, right? We will come to that maybe later on the fine-tuning AI section. But just one thing, you have to go to the settings part. And this was like a little bit confusing at the beginning for me, because I was looking at the general settings, the account settings on the left-hand side menu, and then the AI, and I was like, whoa, where is it? No, I couldn't find it till I went back to the description, and then I read again, and yeah, you have to go to the right-hand side corner where you have your
organization
account,
settings.
and then organizational settings. It's very important. Don't get lost. Here it is in organizational settings, and then you have the item on the left-hand side. So you can see here on screen, custom QA checks.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's everything is explained, of course, but this is why we do this video as well, just to go through it together.
Yes. Anyway, yes, thanks a lot for feedback. So we, of course, yeah, we want to make it. I hope that I consider that app is very easy to use if I don't even need to refer to manual. Even if I see it for the first time, I know where to click. Yes, so that would be ideal setup. We have already enabled. We configured the prompt. We installed the app. So now what we get as a final result, it's under settings quality assurance. We will get. So here we list all default QA checks that we have in the system. You can also turn them off. You can change condition, because we have two states here. Warning means that translator will be just warned. For example, here for spacing, if we talk about spacing, let's say you added 2 spaces in a row, we can warn you that, hey, be notified that translation that you are saving has 2 spaces. So you can either save it, because who knows, probably you need to have 2 spaces for some reason, but you can also make it error. So then it means that translators won't be able to save a translation if it has 2 spaces in a row. So it's configurable, and here for Censor Guide QA, we can see that it's already in the project.
Okay, because we
checkmark.
added it to our quality assurance system and automatically it's checked.
Exactly. So it's enabled, and we now, I'm not sure, but let's see, who knows, probably it will even catch anything in my current translations, but I'm not sure. We will see it here. It will be shown as a filter. So we can see that we have lens issues, spaces mismatch, and there is validate your translations for censorship. Well, my translations, yeah, for recording, I didn't want
Shall
to use
we
some.
enter some hate speech, for example?
I'm not.
Yeah.
What can we do to make a test?
If we write something like, what we want is like abusive speech or something like that doesn't make sense, like er spielt gut. What we can do
I
is
remember that, yes, in this recording I saw some. So we have it in this recording, so we have a sample, but I forgot what was the word, unfortunately. And yeah, I'm not sure what exactly we can use here.
okay. Try this one. I just put it in the chat. Er
In the
spielt eine
chat.
Scheißgitarre.
Very
Let's see if Scheiß is shit, right? So maybe shit is something they don't want to hear here. Would be curious to see if something like that would be caught. All right.
Let's see.
Okay.
So we save anyway. Yes, so we see spell check worked, and yes, the translation contains
German profanity. Hey, woo.
Exactly. Yes,
Got
thanks
it.
a lot. Yeah, so we now have a good sample, and indeed, as you can see, it works with very slight but delay, because after you save a translation, we need to communicate this translation with AI. And then if we return any response from AI, yeah, then it will be shown here. So you can
it's
then
correctly tagged as profanity. It is. So that's very good.
Now it falls under this filter.
And we have one issue under this filter. Yeah, I see. It's super useful in crowd translation projects, especially where you have to control several languages, and it works in all languages. So I understand this is ChatGPT who then checks against the database, profanity, looks in Japanese and Chinese, whatever, and at least flags it, and you as manager can look into it, which is a huge security.
Because you may not know all languages, of course. Yes, so especially, let's say some European languages, but you do some Asian languages like Korean or Japanese. You cannot know whether
Absolutely.
cannot be sure whether all translations are fine. Yeah, with this you just enable it and it works silently behind the scenes. And if you get any issues, yes, it will be simple.
You can address it. Cool. Nice feature.
Yeah, simple.
Especially for those who are doing crowd translation projects for community translations. So check it out. The Censor Guard QA, you will find it in the store. We explain how to install it. That's awesome. Cool. AI fine-tuning. We have next on our stuff. Or is there anything else you want to comment on the QA?
No, I think yeah, that's the main thing, that after we fix the translation, it will be verified again. If everything is good, QA issue will disappear. And everything depends on your project. Who knows? Probably you really want to use these words in your translation because,
Exactly.
yeah, you have that in English.
Some might want to use them.
Yeah. So then final word is behind proofreader. So if you as a proofreader or manager make it approved, then QA issue will disappear. So now you can see that it's not displayed. So if I apply the filter now,
it
it tells us that everything is fine.
Nice, nice, nice. Cool. Great. Wow. Interesting. Very nice feature.
For fine-tuning, I'm from where we can start. You already have seen how exactly these prompts look like. So I already have some prompt. Why fine-tuning is useful? Because you may handle, probably you work on localization already for a year or so. You already have a good translation memory. You have a glossary. In your project, you have all translations are verified. You are happy with the quality, all great. But if you start using AI one day, even despite you will configure it ideally, you will specify some good prompt, there is still a chance that it will generate translations that you may not like out of the box. But because probably AI won't fully understand the tone that you mainly use in your project or anything else. So this is where fine-tuning may be handy because we allow you to create your own model for AI that will be built based on your translations. And it's originally similar to AI Proofreader. It was not very user-friendly. Now, when we are checking it now, we have so many descriptions that yes, it's very user-friendly. We have, for those who know what fine-tuning is, we have some extra settings as well. But even without knowing, yes, so you don't need to be data scientist. If you wish, you can fully trust that even without extra settings, your model will be still it will be created properly. We made it this way. So to create your own model, you just need to select a prompt. You may have multiple prompts in your account.
Right.
So we also immediately check when you check models list. We are checking what model you are using currently, and we know what models can be used for fine-tuning and what models cannot be used for fine-tuning. So we automatically detect it. So this is why we add this fine-tuning is available mention. If some of your models are not, some of your prompts have models that are not ready for fine-tuning, yes, you will see a corresponding message. So it's as easy as this. You select the prompt where you have selected proper model. You select the project. You can select multiple projects as well. So these projects, it's also important. We also mentioned that here that your projects should have approved translations because only those translations that are approved, only those are saved to this model. So they are used for training.
Okay, so imagine I'm a huge corporate and have done my translation work over years with human translators. I have a clean translation memory, everything approved by humans, so high quality translation. This would be my basis for a fine-tuning project, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Optionally, you can also specify what strings should be included exactly, but I think in most cases you want to use all of your data for training. So we don't even need to select anything else. After we selected all of this, we click Start Fine-Tuning, And depending on the project size, in my case, because I had like 80 strings, it took probably a minute or two to generate it. It's important to mention because I was confused about it because I was waiting for fine-tuning to happen, but then it throw an error that I need to have at least 10 assets for translation. So it will be important that in your project you need to have at least 10 files in order to create. It's not our requirement, it's a requirement from OpenAI. So
Okay.
it needs to have to get several assets from you. So if you have multiple files, it's fine. Even if you have because who knows, it happens rarely. Usually I see many files in clients projects, but if that happens that you have single file with 50,000 strings, I can share a workaround here that you can just upload some 9 other files with just one string, make it
Okay.
approved.
And then you
Yes, and
can trick the system, right?
exactly. Yeah. So currently,
Nice.
yes, we have to apply this trick, but yeah, it's still simple. Even yeah, for my case, I also had to do this. I had to create 9 other files with just a single string, and then I managed to generate a model. So what we get in the final as a final result, I even have already I created a new prompt here, when I select OpenAI provider, I can see that new model was generated. I generated it just today. So you can
Okay.
see that here we are displaying what model was used for training. Here we display trained model name. For your convenience, we include today's date. Um, I fine-tuned it today, so this is why I get today's date.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
you find it in the list and you select it. That's it. That's it. So now what you do, you can now use this model when you run pre-translation via AI manually. You can use this fine-tune model, or we also allow you to run AI pre-translation at workflow level.
Okay, I see.
So you can also select same prompt with fine-tuned model. And as a final result, yes, we won't see some big magic but what will happen, this way you can be sure that if you apply pre-translation via AI using standard model, let's say GPT-4o Mini, and then if you translate same files using fine-tuned model, you will definitely see some
A
differences.
difference about the quality.
Yeah.
I mean, we have as project managers, we have always seen these kind of pre-translations via AI, which is good, but it's sort of out of context, or it's out of tone, of the corporate tone. So
Exactly.
what we're doing here is you're training the system with projects that have been already translated. So basically, it's what you could do on all these systems, on Microsoft, but also on OpenAI, uploading translation memories, right? So this kind of translation memory upload, this is something from the past, right? You would just take your own projects and you would pass it through. So you get terminology, you get the tone of voice, you get the style, you get everything without much effort. Basically, it's just selecting the project where you have this bilingual information in the project, and then you can just run it. And this looks like very, very useful. So would you recommend this feature for everybody to embrace?
If you have
Is there any reason why you wouldn't embrace
no,
the fine-tuning?
no, I think it's always useful. The only thing that yes, it may happen that you just started your localization effort. So
Right.
I think you cannot, in this case, even if you wish, you cannot easily create some productive model.
But
But after you use Crowdin for a while, you do proofreading. Yeah.
just wonder, you know, if I'm a corporate or whatever, and I have been working without a TMS of my own, and now I come to Crowdin and say, hey, cool, wow, I sign up for account, I want to manage my localization workflow myself, and oh, I want to make use of AI translation, and wow, Crowdin can fine-tune it, right? So would it be an option to say, okay, I create, you know, I have my translation memories, so I upload my translation memories to a project or whatever, and then go from there?
Here it's even better because if you already have yeah, it's not in Crowdin, but you have existing translations, you can upload them because of course we allow you to upload any existing translations that you have. And during upload, you can also make these translations approved because if they've already reviewed by someone outside of the system,
Right.
can still trust this translation. So I imagine it this way, that if you just started using Crowdin, but you have anything existing, you upload your source files, translations, you make them approved, and same day, yes, then you don't need to wait for anything. You just run pre-translation, fine-tuning, and
Wow.
you get a model. Yes, so it will.
And so you can kick off straight away, which is what we
Yep.
all want to do. And basically what I see here is that you're taking off the pressure to understand the science behind our fine-tuning. It gets
Yeah,
easier and easier. It's just a couple of clicks. Everybody can do it. The project manager can handle it pretty easily.
definitely. Yes,
Of course, if you want to see this more in detail and practice, you can also subscribe to one of our classes to learn more about it, to work in a group and discuss problems. But it's getting easier and easier, which is amazing. So, what about these advanced parameters? Is there something you want we should understand, or you would recommend somebody like McDonald's to look at if they work with it?
we added, yes, I did. Personally, I don't have big practice with this yet, but what is great, because imagine initially when we have had this introduced, we didn't even have some descriptions here. So when I saw it for the first time, I immediately, it was like this, like I opened it and I clicked here. So
Okay. Yeah,
I didn't
just
want
don't
to see.
worry. I think this is a 90% case of many of the customers you have at Crowdin, right? Just don't bother too much with validation data sets, what I see here. And
Anyway,
yeah.
in any case, yeah, you even without these options, as developers told me, because we did some improvements in this tuning mechanism, how it exactly it's done. So we made it in a way that even without advanced parameters, you can be sure that you will get good quality translation. This is
Wonderful.
more for more advanced usage, so you can do several retry attempts and so on. So that's where you can indeed use these extra settings. But for most cases, as I was told, and I totally support the idea personally, that it's as simple as this. You select a project, prompt project, and you're ready to start, and
That
you
is
get a
wonderful.
model.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I mean, the simpler, the better. But if you have the options to go more deep, you have always also the opportunity to reach out to Crowdin support, to Andriy and his team to see how to implement this stuff in your specific case.
Sure.
Cool. What's on our roadmap? We have
Oh, I
left something about the apps, the
custom
Crowdin
apps,
apps,
yes.
right?
Exactly. Yeah, I probably I will just describe the idea why we decided to go with apps like this. We started getting requests from clients who had, for example, multilingual JSON files or something else that is not that common. First, yeah, it was not. I think several years ago we could just say that sorry, but we cannot help much. Please try to optimize your files so they will follow some specification. And nowadays we are. I think we are ready to process basically anything, any file, and here. Even here, we included this AI thing again, because how it's done, when we install these applications, something like custom file format, I will show you on a sample of post processor how it works. Personally, I'm not a developer, so I just know some basic things. So
Okay,
for me,
we
because
go
this
through the
thing works
same
with JavaScript.
windows.
Yeah, when we install the app, I will make it available for all, or let's even enable it only. In any case, we still have one project, so result will be the same. What we get here, let's say, I will show you very as a quick sample. So we go to, when we install these apps, we have a separate section for file processors, and these custom apps will be also listed here. We allow you to customize the behavior on import and export. If we refer to documentation for this app, it looks like this. So not that user-friendly. It will look, that's very simple thing, but actually you can generate quite complex code here, and you can do many different replacements. You can generate out of JSON, you can get some CSV file and so on. It's configurable. Here we have also developed, if we go to ChatGPT, we also have, we can just search for AI here, and you will see, oh no, it's better to search for processors. We can find processors developer GPT. It's something that I like a lot because again, it's AI again, and here it's I personally
this is
didn't
from
expect
the
it.
App Store, right? The
Exactly.
GPT store.
Yes. Yes, so you can find it you can find it in our marketplace, but it will actually guide you to this GPT store. And here you can see multiple. So let's say in my case, I want to replace something on output. So what I do, I just click help me creating a post processor. And for example, it depends what you need. But for example, we want to replace all fraud with friend, for example. And I want, and we just type it like this, all found in German language with friend. So we specify condition, it analyzes our request, and we get a code like this.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, you can feel like a programmer for a moment.
Wow, yeah, we are zoomed into the mind of a programmer.
Yeah, so that's what we get. So we receive, we have here a condition. It follows our specification, so it knows what language codes are used in Crowdin and so on. So then we just copy this. We get, we go to processors. We insert the code that we received in here. Save changes, and now when you download the file manually or when you download the file to GitHub, this replacement will happen. So it will actually everything depends what you want it to get. So it may replace something for you, or it can do something else. It can change the format, the structure of the file. But
Okay, let's see.
yeah, it should.
Can you see it already?
Oh, I
Point,
see
print.
that frowned, and I probably made a typo somewhere. Frowned, and let me check the condition.
Point. Oh,
This one looks fine.
looks good.
Yes, but I
I,
have double demo effect today, as I see. Yes, because usually it works for me on the first attempt. I don't even need to usually adjust these rules. Oh, sorry, I somehow didn't save changes, I guess. Let me check
submit.
it.
Language
And
is not defined. Was that a problem?
yes, I just noticed that message. Yes, usually it works just great on first attempt, but here, if not something doesn't work, you can just, because it's GPT, so you can also go back and tell it that it didn't work. And for me, it was solving sometimes.
So you would say, hey, I got this error message from Crowdin.
Yeah, yeah. You will
Okay.
mention that it doesn't work, and it will,
It will propose something different.
yes, it will try to
And yet
generate.
then you can try it again. So what would be the use case here? So if I were if I on this could happen on the upload and the download
Exactly.
areas, or it's just download?
No, only also on upload, because for example, we designed the custom file format application,
Mm-hmm.
and it allows you to set rules on import and on export. That's because, who knows, probably you have a custom file, a JSON like this. By default, if you won't use any apps, that's usual behavior that any TMS will just import every key for translation.
Mm-hmm.
But
Messaging
here
description.
from this file structure, we can clearly see that actually this is what we want to translate. This is context, it's description. We don't need it to be translated. So using this custom importer, you can specify that I want to import only message for translation.
Okay.
And description will be converted into context. So this,
To
here we
context.
have a sample code and a context, yes. Then on output, we also have for this app we have export rules. So this way we tell to application that when you export translations, you need to replace all English text under a message key with German, with French, with Italian.
I see, I see.
That's where you may also have some non-translatable keys within your file, and you may want to
Mm-hmm.
see them. So it's all configurable, and it's indeed very easy. Yes, sorry, it's a shame that it didn't work for me on the first attempt, because when I just assist
This is
client.
what happens when we do live stuff here. So no worries. I think the important thing is that our audience, our listeners and viewers see where this comes from and how and open their mind what they can do with these applications. So I think this is really cool because I have heard about a lot of people who are actually struggling with some file formats, import, export. It's always something because of homegrown
Exactly.
systems,
When
CMS or whatever, and then there needs to be a conversion or whatever, and then things start crashing. So I love the idea to work with the AI, the AI tool, your GPT store, addition, it will make this coding very easy. So the recommendation would be to understand, what is your problem, and then go to the GPT store. You can try it out and and generate your custom key value format. Wow, excellent.
It will guide you. It will ask you all questions. It will ask you whether your file is multilingual or not. So after you answer all these questions, then for me, I generated a very complex script for some multilingual file, and it worked indeed on the first attempt. I didn't even have to regenerate anything.
Wonderful. No worries. I think people can try it, and again, leave a comment in this video if you have tried it, it didn't work out. If you tried it, it worked out. Leave us a comment, and we're happy to discuss this next time, maybe.
And
Right?
share some ideas. Yes, how can you solve that, or any cases? Yes,
Excellent.
because there are so many different file types that you can actually have that.
Thousands, and it's always an issue. One last topic we have on the August 24 newsletter we wanted to jump into is the default editor layout configurations. What's this about?
In Crowdin, for years since I joined Crowdin, that was like the default view. So for mainly all key value based file types, you get a view like this. On the left, you see the list of strings.
Right.
In order to make a translation for any string, you need to select it, click on it, and then here you type a translation. When I saw it for the first time, I liked it a lot. Even now, I like it, of course. But when you work on translations, when you do proofreading, yes, this mode is not that efficient. So you definitely saw this side by side view. We also have multilingual view, so you can see multiple languages at a time. And this is something more. While we are here, I will mention that yes, we have different themes as well, and you also you can install
customization, basically.
So your editor can look. You can even get
lovely. People, please write your favorite color here.
Exactly, yeah, it grows. We just had few themes, but I see this list is growing, so we are using different. Yeah, if you like light themes, you will find something.
I love it. Yeah, it's personalization is big. People like to have their color scheme, and some need more light, less light. Fantastic.
Exactly. And here, I think this view is more like standard common for TMS, that it looks like spreadsheet. On the left, you see the source. On the right, you see translation. Here, you can see some extra information. You can also have some apps, applications listed here, so you can switch across them. So this is more standard, and we were receiving a request, like people wanted that translators to see exactly this one. First of all, when they sign in even to Crowdin for the first time, they wanted translators to see Crowdin this way. This is why now we allow you to set a default view for others. Of course, people can still switch to comfortable. If they prefer it more, they can switch it to it. But in the editor settings now, when you go to appearance, of course, you need to be an admin to do this. So you need to be signed in as organization admin, but you can specify that side by side will be set as organization default. And it means that any new users who join your project, they will get exactly this view when they open Crowdin.
Yeah, I mean, this is very useful, because at the end, many translators are used to a certain view because of this is my ringtone. we are approaching the 1 hour. Oh, we have reached the 1 hour, so we are almost done. That's pretty cool. But this one, I've heard from many people who dislike, a fixed structure, and this is somebody likes it, somebody not. So if you have the option to change it, and you have, because of the structure of your project, you as an admin feel that one view is more adaptable, then this is a cool thing, I think, for making the tone the default, and then enable people still to change the view to adapt it to what they love to see. So this is very helpful, and I think that is one of the things I really appreciate about Crowdin, the flexibility you have here.
Just wanted to mention that we have, I think it's something that it's already under development, that we want to add even more customization here. So it will be possible for you to move these panels to different areas yourself, and it will be user specific setting. Yes, so every user can have their own view of Crowdin. We already have something like this for shortcuts. So you can see the list of default shortcuts, but you can also set your own shortcuts here. You can customize it. And if you change it, it will be only for your account. Others will still use default shortcuts, or they can set their own. So yes, we want Crowdin. So others will feel that Crowdin is very unique for them. So every user can have their own Crowdin with own settings, own view, and
I like
with
that one.
this.
Andriy, remember one thing, that most of the translators have used a certain cut tool, professional people all over their life, and they really are proficient in working with these tools, have been proficient. And now clients come up, hey, you have to use, this tool or that tool, TMS. And what I've heard so many times in log lunches and conversations is, oh, I don't like it. I'm not, this is a different user interface. This is starting again, learning it. It's slow. It's not my usual, what I love to see. And whatever the TMS developers can do to smooth this just like visual issue out, to enable customization and say, hey, you want to have a Trados view? Click here, right? Blam, and this is a Trados view. Okay, you get all the features, but in a different view. Imagine, or MemSource, or whatever, cut tool they have been used to, in order to make it more smooth for those who are on the working end of the chain and have to use these tools. I think that is a great opportunity for TMS to help, make it user friendly, make them comfortable with it, and productivity goes up and happiness goes up. And with happiness, quality will surely be beneficial of that one as well.
Totally agree. Yes, so that's actually good. Well, I don't think that we will ever get these views, but I hope it will become only better and better and more customizable in this for everyone. So we do have some big plans for this. So you will see some changes in the editor.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's yes, these were all topics. Yeah, sorry, it took even a bit more time than I predicted, because there is always, when you display something, you always want to
there's always something left, but I see we have looked on a lot of stuff. The main issues, the main points here are covered. This is our goal. There are much more things in here, but look it out, check it out, and write your feelings in the comments below. This is our first interview, We are, if Andriy agrees, we will be here every month and go through the latest you have launched.
I'd be happy
And
to meet again.
we hopefully will see also some deep dives. You and I going into some features, some stuff, and comment on it. This is what we are promised in this channel. We want to empower. So empower you as a listener, empower ourselves. We learn a lot and have a good time. So with this, I think, Andriy, thanks a lot for being with me today here, for taking the time.
Thank you.
And was lovely chatting with you and seeing all this new stuff coming. And then I would say, subscribe to the channel, please. And reach out to me, to Andriy, if you have any questions. So thanks a lot. And Andriy, have a lovely day today.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.